This had my favourite and least favourite moment.
Of the whole show or just the season?
Like season 2 so far.
Okay, what were they?
My favourite, I think the ending sequence was great. I think it's my favourite sequence of the season, more so than Rook's Rest. I think the Dragon Seed stuff was just really fun and entertaining.
It's like watching people die.
Yeah, and just like how it was done. And yeah, overall, I thought that was great.
Were there that many Dragon Seeds in the books?
We're told, like lots of Dragon Seeds, lots died and failed.
Okay, because it just seemed like so many when they were walking in.
Slight book difference. They just tell them to go out and find them in the island. Alan, being the younger brother, tries to get a dragon, then he gets burned, and then Adam gets sea smoke.
Oh, they both get a dragon?
No, Alan tried to get sea smoke and failed.
Oh, okay.
But then Adam got him, and Alan's like, I'm not going to bother with the dragons because I've just got my whole back burnt by one.
I thought it was an odd thing to do. Like, she'd already seen the collateral damage that happened when Darkland got burnt, and she's still like, yeah, all of you stay down there. I'm going to be over here, though. Okay, what was the dumbest thing?
Oh, for sure, Allison. All of Allison is absolutely fucking moronic. For a Dowager Queen who's just been attacked a day or two before to take one Kingsguard into the woods for a camping trip is fucking moronic.
I viewed it as dumb, yes, but people just do whatever she says.
Yeah, but he's a Kingsguard. He's not a Dowager Queen guard.
Okay, so he could have just said no.
Maybe he's sworn to her, but still.
They did say that she should have had a sworn sword.
Yeah, also the young one should have had a sworn sword. Look, it's once again, like I said, I'll allow the stupid moment of Rhaenyra in the Sept. This is another stupid moment because I think they just wanted the shots of her.
They wanted Ophelia.
They wanted all that.
Yep.
And her, in the behind the scenes, they reckon that's a reborn thing. Maybe she's going in to kill herself, but then she looks up and feels reborn.
I didn't finish all the BTS, but I did see the bit where they say...
When her eyes open with a sense of purpose. I mean, what that purpose is remains to be seen.
So I guess next episode, she's going to be like, I'm going to do this. But it felt wasteful in this episode because it took less than 2 minutes.
As I've said before, the first version of this story was called The Princess and the Queen. So you decide to make these two characters the focus, but yet they've been nothing but sidelined, be thematically or because of plot reasons, because they don't have anything plot-wise to do. So then they're trying their best to kind of weave that in thematically. So last week was good because Allison's trying to connect with her kids. And then because I guess her going to the Sept, which was her safe place, has now been completely ruined.
I guess.
She now wants to just get out of King's Landing. And we got to give Allison something to do this episode. So, look, she's got a scar similar to Harry. She gave Rhaenyra the scar.
Yeah, it's like poetry, it rhymes.
I actually have a George thing later. But yeah, to me, that was probably another dumb moment that I think a lot of people were worried about in the trailers when they're seeing it. They're like, what's she doing out there?
And then we've got to get her back.
Yeah, so you got to get her back. And considering it's really hard to get in and out of King's Landing at the moment, unless...
No, it's not. 45 blonde people can all just leave.
It's because they're loyal to Mysaria, aren't they? Mysaria has them brought. That's the logic, is Mysaria.
They're meant to be on Dragonstone like you say they are in the books, which is a simpler plot.
Why aren't they all just on Dragonstone anyway?
So that they can show us the small folk in King's Landing, but they've migrated that to everything.
Yeah, because then they want Hugh and Ulf to be representative of that.
I liked that bit, but having 45 blonde people in King's Landing, that's too many blonde people.
Yeah.
Whereas, if they're on Dragonstone, the king wouldn't care as much because he'd be like, oh, they're fucking over there. They're going to try to depose me or anything. But if they're in King's Landing, it's a little sketchier.
Exactly.
But let's talk about Rhae. Let's talk about our main blonde person.
So she hits up Adam and they have a kind of a Sergio Leone standoff.
Not at all.
Not at all.
It's a Western showdown, a scene out of Sergio Leone, Once Upon a Time in the West.
I was like, I can understand that, but I had no tension there. I suppose because, we've known Adam for all of 3 minutes, I guess, collectively.
And even then, we know the story behind it. So we know as soon as he says, oh, I'm Corlys's son, and I'm actually already working at your shipyards. She'll be like, dude, this is sick. This is the best thing that could have happened.
It's weird that this is still going unsaid. It's like...
For no reason.
It's being said without being said at this point.
Being a bastard is an embarrassment to a certain degree. You wouldn't want to degrade that lord. You now have a dragon. You're now talking directly to the queen. It's not like you're boasting and they're going to get scared. You're going to try to take over Driftmark. That's the easiest way to tell them that you're loyal. And also Corlys knows, so it's not like a secret. So Corlys should be at least telling Rhae, especially since he wants her to ratify his bastard at some point.
It's probably next week where it's just fully acknowledged, with Alan going off to the Stepstones. I think he's just going there to just make sure the Stepstones are secure.
You good?
Because we are seeing the Triarchy next week.
Yeah, saw a bunch of pirates.
Seeing the free cities that are near the Stepstones. That's why they want to control it.
Yeah, they all look like Dario Naharis original, like coloured hair and stuff. So when Ray gets back, after they do the random, Adam doesn't tell who he actually is.
My father's of no significance.
Yes, which, like, bring it up and then don't bring it up. But then she does what she seems to do every episode and goes to a library to do, like, heritage stuff. This isn't a character with momentum. She's constantly like, oh, I need to figure out this to figure out the problem. She's doing science, basically. But then her agency gets taken away even more because Massaria says, just use bastards. Because Jace bothered to say, hey, we should use our bloodline. And then Massaria has come up with the idea to use bastards. Like, Rhaenyra hasn't
more direct
come up with anything. She said yes to a few people, but she doesn't feel queenly. She has no authority in any room she's in, almost.
In the book, yeah, it's Jace was running this up, but then I like that in this they go, if a load of bastards get legitimised, it kind of hurts Jace's claim, because his whole thing was, I'm not a bastard, look, I claimed a dragon, and since everyone thinks dragons are these gods, and for you to claim it obviously means you're legitimate, it ends that. But then, yeah, if you've got random, like gutterborn, as Jace puts it, claiming dragons, because in this, they seem to be really hesitant to, like, Ulf going, I don't know if I'm exactly a bastard or not, and everyone just kind of being unsure. Like, I mean, even Corlys going, yeah, I'm Valyrian blood, but maybe your mother. It's like,
well, they do that twice. They seem to say that it's the mother's side that seems to carry it stronger.
Yeah.
Hugh is like, yeah, it's on my mum's side. I didn't know who my dad was, but my mum's definitely a Targaryen.
Because the mummies were told now, Sarah, who is Jaehaerys, the old king's daughter, because he had lots of children, and she became I think like a madam over the Narrow Sea.
Except apparently not in show world. She must have done it in King's Landing, because you don't go elsewhere. Be a whore, have a kid, bring that kid back to King's Landing where you're more in danger.
Yeah, it's weird that they went with that. Like, in the book, it's just, we don't know who you was.
Yeah, that seems easier than forefronting that it's the mother's side, but then occasionally dipping off that. Like, it's like they touch on it and they don't. Like with Jace, I think they've tried to have it both ways, where they've thought Jace will come up with the idea to use the heritage bloodline, but then all of a sudden he's against it. But
he's against the use of bastards. He was okay as long as it was like royal bloodline. Like me, we're all royal bloodlines. Like,
but that would, I don't know, it just seems like that would make it, they would have just as much claim as him then.
Yeah.
Whereas this, I get him being upset with this, because then it's like, oh, I'm nothing special, I'm not a highborn, any trash can do this, which would have made sense if he didn't the week before already do this. I don't like him having both ways, basically. If Jace was always annoyed at the idea of other people claiming dragons because it tainted his bloodline, that would make sense. But again, we haven't had all that much time with Jace to like delve into that.
Yeah, because it's super interesting that he walks around all on about the legitimacy of things and the rightful owners, and he knows in his heart he actually has no business. Like, it's an interesting character thing that they have no time for.
There's so much there for them to use with him, but we haven't really got it. It's more just been him being sad that he's not in charge of things because Rhaenyra is.
Yeah.
Mummy won't let me lead.
We've spoke a few times now that the show seems really hesitant of Rhaenyra seeming to be in any kind of emotional wrong. I would have liked this to have been framed as an emotional thing, that everyone's going, this is really bad to give someone with no power, who's only ever had like struggles in life, to hand them the nuclear codes and go, but on my side, right? And I think it's going to be because Adam was so willing to help her, even though Adam's been brought up in the shadow of his father, so he's kind of been brought up at least, but now you're giving it to like gutter spawn, like, you know, people who've grown up rough.
You're throwing 45 people in a ring and saying, I don't know you, one of you will emerge here with a nuke.
I would have liked that to be framed more as her, not saying that, oh, a woman, but a emotional, I'm gonna lose, my husband isn't fucking like replying, I need fucking help, the only thing I can think of is I need to get people on these dragons, and everyone going, this could be really bad, because if they do get it, what's stopping them from going, I've got the biggest dragon now, so I'm going to be in charge.
Yeah, and they don't even play it as a risk to her. She's either like,
she plays it like, no,
they're going to join me or they're going to die. And even then, she doesn't even really seem to think they're going to die, because she's very shocked when they start dying.
Because when it cuts to her, I couldn't help but think of George Lucas watching the first Phantom Menace edit going, I might have gone too far in a few places. Like, that's her going, maybe this wasn't a great idea.
Well, it would give her something to do, something to deal with.
But she's annoyed that she's been driven somewhat annoyed and mad by the fact that, I can't do anything. So this is her going, at least I'm fucking doing something.
Yep.
And it's a bad decision.
But it's not, because she's right.
Yeah.
She can never not be right.
For now.
Someone on the council, the
Celtigar. They are a old Valyrian house that no one gives a fuck about.
And unless you go on Wikipedia, you'll never know.
Yeah. Even the books are like, oh yeah, Celtigar.
Sure, that guy. But even that guy was like, we can't let these lowborn scum to be thing. And again, he's not bringing it from the angle of we can't trust them, we don't know them. He's saying lowborns, oh no. And it's all to give our old girl Rhae, she can wax poetic, she can pontificate, she can stand up and tell everyone how grand everything will be if they can just become dragon riders.
I think it's a very interesting issue they've got.
Everyone's coming up with ideas except her, and she's just kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
And it's not in like a queenly, I'm going to send you to go do this. It seems like Masaria's come to her and said, we should use bastards. I'm going to go get the bastards. And she's like, okay. And then Masaria does all the work to send for the bastards.
I thought Hugh's daughter would have been dead and this would have been a big motivator.
She was dead.
Did she actually die?
Yeah. He says, I wish I could have saved our daughter.
That's so lame.
Yeah, it was off screen. It got an audible, "Aw," out of my wife.
Maybe they intended to show it like in the riots. Maybe she gets injured or that's too much.
No, I think she just died of sickness. She just died of being off screen for too long.
Why can't that have been on camera and that can be this like, fuck it, I'm going to go get the dragon?
I think because we had to go look at Allison go for a swim.
There you go. So that's why it's even
They're
more
using
stupid.
time wrong.
I would have been fine if, like, to emphasize that Allison's absolute hopelessness is that she's not doing anything.
She had so much to do last episode with the whole getting towards her kids, and it was the most she has had to do in a while. It was weird to see this episode her get so little.
To the point where she might as well not had it.
Yeah, I wish she didn't.
I didn't get the read that she felt reborn. Like, because it wasn't like she was holding her breath and then decided to come up. She's fucking just floating in the water and then sees a bird, which
I
means
thought, she's going to
fuck all.
drown herself. But she's like, no, birthday.
Yeah.
But guess who else I don't think should have been in the episode?
Who else shouldn't have been in the... Oh, no. I've got the perfect setup for that. No, I know it is. Just wait. No. So we see old Clubby and Ironrod finally out the council room. My boy's getting to stretch his legs for once. I think it's the first time he's not been in the council room. And he goes, oh, me squire's mate's dad's fisherman
Works at Nintendo.
said he reckons we saw sea smoke with Ryder.
How many people know what dragon is what?
I know, but like,
That's
whatever.
one of my
I suppose
things.
it's maybe because they know it's sea smoke because they live on Dragonstone, these informants.
Guess.
I was like, what's Clubby's motivation here? One, Aemond isn't someone to take, like, he only wants to be told definites. So we aren't going to give Aemond bad news if it's not confirmed.
I should tell him, but also I don't want to risk me dying by telling him a not true fact.
Yeah.
And if I keep this for myself, he will be less prepared for something later, and I can get Aegon, my main man that might like me, back on his feet.
But did you know, because Chloe brings up a fact, and maybe you lot didn't know either, but Dan, did you know that Rhaenyra tried to claim sea smoke, but failed?
The person that shouldn't have been in this episode, I honestly thought that was going to be a channel plug. I thought that was a big build up to you guys should subscribe, and it was going to be sneaky. But
That's 3 times. It's 3 episodes now where they've went, Rhaenyra tried to look once. Oh, it's so weird that Rhaenyra never got that dragon. It's really weird.
while we're on Rhaenyra for 1 second, we'll just say Rhaenyra left the Eyrie.
Because they're pissed off there's no dragons. That hasn't been super made clear.
It's been exposited, yeah. And then she kicks him out, and then instead of saying bye to the kids, we don't get an emotional moment or like Rhaenyra thinking, should I, shouldn't I? She just runs off.
With no guards particularly on her. She's a princess.
No one noticed. I don't know.
It's another one of these moments where it's like these people would be highly guarded. Like they wouldn't be allowed to wander.
And I didn't even get her spending an episode thinking and trying to do something clever. She just run off into the distance.
And I didn't know that a sheep stealer stole sheep that fucking close to the bloody gate. Like he's just off to the side.
If they cut, maybe time passed.
Maybe. I was annoyed that we didn't get that claiming. I know that'll be next week, but like considering we had 20 minutes of claiming,
She's going to rock up on it in the last minute of the next episode.
the whole thing is that old May wants a big dragon there so she'll feel confident sending out her army.
Yeah.
So then Rhaenyra getting a dragon would then mean that she has to stay in the Vale because
Yes.
then they are like, oh, good, we've got a big dragon. I'm going to send my army out now.
And that could have been the motivator she needed. Like, she's always wanted a dragon, but now if she doesn't get one, she lets down all of her family, and her 2 brothers get sent off to Essos. Whereas if she can get a dragon, they get to stay in the safe place. Like, that could have been like a, dude, you have one day. Like, this is your back to formula moment. Like, if you don't go get this dragon, your brothers are going to have to fuck off.
Back to formula.
Back to formula.
Hopefully those little boys don't get caught up in any fucking...
There's no way they're not. They were just abandoned.
No,
but
hopefully not.
they needed, like, a sweet scene with her or something. Like,
Just a sad looking goodbye.
She's just in every episode so far being like, damn, wish I had a dragon.
This was the most egregious, just stretching her shit out for another episode. Like,
Just don't have her in the episode.
you just have it be
Like-
next week, right?
Yep.
Just have that be the angle.
Or waste less of my time in earlier episodes. I am getting a little annoyed at this season for stretching it out.
I'm getting annoyed of it, because we got one episode left. I think next week's like borderline hour and a half. I think it's hour 20.
It has to be at least. I hope so.
This episode just seems to be just setting up the blocks a little bit, which I've been saying, this will be 3 seasons. So maybe it's 3, maybe it's 4.
It might be 5 at this rate.
Yeah, because I'm surprised we're still where we are. When
Yeah.
we do a comparing book to series, I will show you just how many pages this has been, and I'm pretty sure it's quite shocking just considering how much left there is, and they've zoomed in so much on this section. Are they going to zoom in more? And I suppose it's HBO's interest to have the Dragon show continue,
That was my thoughts. If they can get this show to 5 seasons, they'll be a lot more happy with the money.
because this is the only story where dragons are fighting each other. Like, I mean, you get a bit of Magor the Cruel, but that's not that interesting.
This is the most dragons
Yeah.
you can get without going to not Westeros, which will have less brand appeal if you're like, by the
Exactly.
way, it's in Valyria.
Yeah, if you did an old Valyria show, but there's not enough there.
It's all samey.
It's like that Krypton show.
Yes.
It's like, who needs to, the Targaryens are special because Superman, they've came over here and they're
Yeah,
special. Like,
100%.
if you're Dragon Riders, no one's special.
Yeah.
But yeah. I like that analogy.
It's good. I like it. Quality.
Yeah.
Another one of our characters that gets about 30 seconds of screen time is Aegon.
I like that there's this, they thought about this human connection of him being somewhat sympathetic to a fellow somewhat disabled person.
Bastards and broken things.
Yeah,
that old-
I like that that's something that they thought about him as a person,
Yeah.
that he would take sympathy on this. Particularly with maybe the brother who lived in the shadow of the bigger brother, even though Aemond's the younger, he's the bigger in a lot of ways.
We hope it's that. It could just be, this is an opportunity for power.
Yeah, and then there's a small thing that I didn't pick up on last week, that Aemond's wearing the Blackfire sword, which is
It's always with him. It's always out on
because
display.
it's a symbol of power, and he gets rid of Aegon's dumb boys who started the riot last week.
It's not a bad scene. It's just, why did we need that?
Yeah, but even they were like, "Oh, just keep in the wide. We don't need to get down there and put the tripods on."
We see them remove their cloaks.
Yeah.
Like,
We get it. It was nice of Aemond to do that. Probably politically, if you kill a Kingsguard who has,
they
like,
just wanted to
heritage-
reference the wall.
Yes.
They wanted to say the wall.
Yeah, because I think we're getting, because we see the twins, I think we're going to see them on the way, and then I think we're going to see old Stark on the way down going, "You out there, boys."
But does he get to Harrenhal? Is he fighting at Harrenhal, or is he for the next fight?
I think I'm worried next week going to be like, it's going to be so good in 2 years. I think that's what we're
2
going to
years
get.
is too long.
I think next week is going to be long, but also feel like it's on fast forward. You're going to be like, this would have been episodes 8, 9, and 10 is what we might end up saying.
In the time it's taken him to learn to walk after being crippled and falling off a dragon, Damon's still having nightmares, and the time that this man's gone through therapy.
Everyone's favourite king consort, Damon. Oscar Tully is now officially the Lord Paramount.
Oscar Tully has some giant brass balls on him. There is no little fish there.
And I've never really been a fan of the Tullys, but in this I was like, you know what? I can see why these Tullys would be in charge, because they are the most heavily respected. They don't have any grudges or anything.
And this kid's got the sauce. Like, if that's running in his blood and is before he got sick, grandsire was like that, it's like, this kid has my respect and I don't even know him.
Because he played it all very politically. He's like, my lords are pissed off of this whole Blackwoods Bracken thing, and we're all infighting.
Yeah.
And it's because of Prince Damon over here.
And I can't fuck with Damon because he's got a dragon.
It's a 2-bird, 1-stone situation. He has Prince Damon prove that he's an all right guy and apologetic by killing Blackwood, who was the problem, who was the egregious bit. So he's both going, I'm not fucking around, and Damon can be on side too.
I don't know if he actually knew this for sure, but he did say that, you didn't have to go all out. Like, Damon said fuck shit up. He didn't say kill women.
Yeah, because there's kind of a ranking there where it's like, technically, your king or king consort, or at least your voice of your queen, has ordered this. So he, in a way, outranks your paramount lord, but also it's also made us all a bit fucked off.
Yeah.
And so it's him appeasing everyone and taking off a chaotic Blackwood, and it gives room for old mate Benji Cott, who will hopefully be friends with Oscar, the lads, next season.
Okay, I'm happy to see more of this Oscar kid. He was great. My main problem with the scene overall was Damon was on the back foot, which was good. Like, he knew that he couldn't piss everyone off again. But him delivering justice to Blackwood didn't really carry any weight on his soul or anything.
Well, it's meant to be that, yeah, like when he goes and sees his brother.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it should have had weight, and he should have been like, damn, maybe being king isn't so great because I have to deliver this punishment all the time.
And it was my fault.
But he doesn't give a shit about Blackwood. He doesn't give a shit about anyone. Why does he care?
It's something to unpack with, like, what they've done with Damon to what was done in the books.
I did see one thing that was saying Damon is meant to be George's favourite because he's equal parts hero and villain, but in this he's not really hero at all.
I think it would be fair. It's an absolute fair criticism to say Damon at Harrenhal has been fairly stretched.
Last season, I think he was pulling off that half hero, half villain shtick, especially like bowing to his brother and all that. And then like he'd go do something wanky, but then he'd do something kind. Whereas because he hasn't really been dealing with characters, he's been dealing with himself. We haven't had any time to show his kindness or his heroicism. He's just been dealing with his own stuff.
Yes.
But that's kind of been very one-sided. We've basically had almost a whole episode's worth of Damon, and you would expect him to start somewhere and end somewhere. Instead, we've spread that over 4 episodes now, and he hasn't really changed.
It's meant to be that he's looking back on the faults of the past and hopefully going to try and become a better person in the future.
But I would have assumed that would happen by now.
I wouldn't have minded a flashback of, for example, your favourite Rhaenyra, like, why don't you love me, Dad? Like, we had that whole thing. Like
him trying to be a good dad, but he's just not a good dad.
I think people need a reminder that those, like, you need a reminder going, oh, yeah, those 2 are his daughters.
Yep.
Like,
I
because
agree.
you don't get enough. Not that it has to be personal, because I have a wonderful relationship with my dad. Love you, Dad. Love you. But I always am a sucker for wanting a parent's approval, and that's what Rhaenyra is. So it's weird that they haven't, because we're saying, oh yeah, we're always reminded of Rhaenyra, that we haven't used Damon to at least connect us with that Rhaenyra story.
Especially considering how many daddy issues this show has.
Yes, and
they don't
brotherly
seem
issues,
they're not using it.
Yes.
Like, we're not using any either longing for that father connection or like lacking it in any sort of way. It's just like, this person doesn't talk to their dad. Cool. Corlys has 2 sons he doesn't really talk to. Okay, we got like one little scene where Corlys says, I'm proud of you. And then I had a flashback in my brain to Baelor saying, I'm fire and blood. You need salt and sea.
I'm of salt and sea.
If we had more time and all the time in the world, I wouldn't have minded if, when he goes to Baelor, I'd make you my heir. And she goes, that'd be nice. And then 2 weeks later, he's like, I would like to legitimize my 2 bastards who would now be my heirs. And Baelor's like, fucking what? We're doing this shit again?
Well, she's still not married, so she's still not queen to be.
Yeah, she's meant to be queen of bee. She's meant to be good.
But they haven't spent any time with her. We're just lacking so much time with so many characters.
It's a shame because it's a compliment that because we're all interested in them. We'd love to see more from them. It was Paddy's idea to make it be the knackered on death's door.
He wanted to sit in the chair for 6 hours.
Absolutely, it needed to be that version of him.
We said last week he never really saw him that way.
Yeah.
Like, he only saw him for 5 minutes with the mask on, and then...
And how it resembles the, like, look what this crown did to me.
Yes. Do you really want it? It shows that we really should have got more of Damon maybe dealing with the politics and how much being king sucks.
I really would have, preferred that.
Yeah, your idea last week of he needed to be politicking and being like, oh, king actually isn't fun.
Yeah.
And then be like, okay, I will let Rhaenyra be in charge because, like, I don't like this side of it.
And you could have had the whole, maybe it's a bit obvious, but he's dismissive of Oscar in that the first or second episode he's there. And then after he goes for all this politicking and reflection of the dreams, Oscar comes in and he's a bit more humble. He humbles himself before a lord and goes, you are the lord and you understand this land more than me. And
you somehow give us a connection to Blackwood so that when he kills him, he's like, or before he kills him, he's like, I liked this kid. He did exactly what I told him to.
Yeah.
Shit.
And dealing with the consequences maybe of that. But small things, I like seeing all the colourful heraldry. Simon Strong repping that. I mean, I love the outfits, like that purple drip. It was great.
Simon Strong was fun to me. How he's just like,
oh dear.
Oh dear. I'm happy to see Oscar like that. And once again, it's a great example of in one scene you make this character memorable and interesting, and you're going to be like, he'll be great to
I
see.
immediately loved Oscar.
Yeah,
I was
good
straight
to
up
see.
like, holy shit, the ball's on this kid.
Exactly.
And he's doing everything right and not winning.
Yeah.
So he's basically what Rhaenyra needs to be.
Exactly.
Which is very funny that they've accidentally given the correct amount of agency to a random kid that is in charge of like a small portion of land.
My wife was pointing out how she thought Rhaenyra is stupid. Surely she can put two and two together and know that Adam's a bastard of Valyrian descent because she has bastards herself. So she just felt that surely it shouldn't be this grand mystery of what's his lineage. Have a guess what his lineage is.
I don't even want her to guess. I just want it to be revealed. It changes nothing.
Yeah.
And if anything, it makes her go, oh, bastards. She could have figured out bastards that way instead of having Mysaria be like, I have an idea. We
Yeah.
need to use bastards because I know a bunch of blonde whores.
Yeah, I think all this Dragon Seed stuff has been background set up to further seasons down the line, which so cutting to them has always felt a little bit like out of nowhere at times. Like, hey, like Hugh Hammer's had
Heavy-handed.
what 4 or 5 scenes across the season of
Yeah.
all just reiterating the same point. And while it's nice to have faces and familiar names to the struggles of the small folk, and I can see that logic.
Yeah, Ulf himself was like, oh, I'm a Targaryen, talk it up. Oh, I'm suddenly scared.
I could have gone pro if my knee didn't hurt, whatever, you know.
I used to be a Targaryen like you until I took a injury to the knee. But then he swapped to being shy and not sure if it's going to be
Got
his big
peer
break
pressure
because he's
to do it.
afraid of change. But
Yeah.
because we don't know him apart from, oh, he's a big talker.
I wish that him and Hugh had already known each other.
Yeah.
No, not that they were brothers or anything.
But they could have been like,
they've
you're
just been
blonde,
mates
I'm
or
blonde.
this like secret, we know what this is.
Yeah, if you know, you know. And
And then that connection going in might have been nice, that they were two friends who maybe grew up on the streets together and they were known
Yeah.
as those, you know, the bastard boys or something.
Yeah.
Just a little connection of them going in, like Uncle Ulf when the, you know, anything. Like
yeah.
he's like
Even
stole
just,
a bit of food
oh, shit.
for her.
But instead we get Ulf's friends telling him,
Peer pressuring him.
peer pressuring him and telling him in the first place that Rhaenyra is picking up all the Targaryen bastards
Rumour
and
has
shipping
it.
them off. And it's not even rumor. He's like, oh, you're going to Dragonstone. And the other guy's like, oh, yeah, to get a dragon. Like, everyone knows.
Yeah.
They wanted to make it more interesting by making him suddenly go, oh, shit, maybe I shouldn't. Like, that sounds risky.
Yeah, because you feel like this character then would go, fine, I'm going to go, and then just simply...
Not be a Targaryen at all. Like, that would be the interesting.
The way they set him up of like, fine, I'll go if you really want me to, and then he'll just dip out and go on a different boat and go to Essos or something.
That's the thing. It feels like he should be anything but, oh, he now wins a dragon. With very little effort, apart from a bit of spookies.
Well, okay, we'll get into the Dragon Seed
Yeah,
stuff.
let's do the Dragon
I
Seed
think
then.
as a whole sequence, it was really good. We get the monks being very annoyed since they've been kind of made as a monastic worshipping the dragons. You know, we have to respect them. Like, you know, you're gathering up all these people and you're not even confirming they're subscribed to Bergenbeard. Like, it's ridiculous. So we're out.
Subscribers only.
Yeah, subscribe. Yeah, that's it. Subscribers only.
You've seen Deadpool. Go watch it.
But that's it. So they're like, I'm out. We're not doing this shit again. So it's like everyone telling Rhaenyra, this is fucking dumb. And she's like, no.
But she's right. So it doesn't matter.
I wish it was more, get the fuck out my way. I'm doing this.
Yeah. What's that agency and strength?
And fuck it, as we were saying already, I don't think she needs to be fat, but you know, I was there going, I wouldn't mind some A-train stress eating right now. Like, just like shoving, like, get the fuck out my way.
Yeah.
Like, but you know,
That'd be an interesting character trait.
but that's neither here or there.
She's meant to be blood of the dragon and she has no fire. She's just like making decisions quietly. Every time they set her up to be taking her agency back, like, I'm the queen, I'm going to go to war. Last episode, gets a sword, swings it around, and she's like, okay, I'm going to have to be a warrior queen. This is going to be crazy. This episode, she's like, sorry guys, can I show my friends the dragon pit? Yeah. Also, why would you go to Vermithor first? Use one of the littler dragons first. Obviously, Vermithor is going to kill most of your dragon seeds.
Ryan said, Emma, it was their idea to speak to the seeds like Rhaenyra was their shepherd, their apostle, you know, I was like...
I didn't like it, yeah.
Maybe she's speaking to them like she was their queen or something? Like, I don't know. I was quite impressed at just the scale of like the dragon underneath the mountain. Like,
it does look very cool.
It does look very cool, and I did like it's dangerous. Vermithor is more or less just as big, and they say maybe even more deadly.
Well, he's more ferocious because Vhagar's a lazy old woman.
Yes, that whole sequence felt really Godzilla-esque.
The dragons made cool noises. Vermithor got a lot of like guttural Godzilla-y kind of stuff going on.
So cool.
I liked the scene overall, I guess, and like from a visual standpoint, it's outstanding. I just found it kind of stupid that, she would bring all the seeds out within flamethrower distance.
Yeah, you thought they'd line them up one by one and just
like,
try.
you try.
Instead, she's like, right, well, according to the way Sea Smoke worked, I can't make him, so all the best.
She's not doing anything. She's standing back and letting other things do things for her.
It's also really fucking cruel to dangle lordship and power in front of people who've never had it.
Yeah.
And then for them to go and think, you know what, it's worth it. I'll take the risk.
Seemingly obviously, if the first person failed, no one else would try, unless they had a really good reason. So wouldn't you hide it? Wouldn't you be like, all right, you're going to go, oh, she was successful, next person. It's also a very long-winded part of the season to get us to 3 extra people now have dragons.
Yes. Well, Hugh shows, a bit of bronze beard, bronze fury. He shows a bit of fury, so.
I liked Hugh getting it better, like willing to sacrifice himself to save another girl that he doesn't even know.
Yes.
So that's at least something, because it's a young girl, maybe reminds of his daughter. Not sure if that was what they were going for.
I wish we saw that rage of like, I don't know, maybe a few tears in his eyes, doing this for his girl, that frustration that this is what it's came to.
He seems very apathetic considering he lost his wife and daughter.
And also maybe, you should probably think that it's Rhaenyra's fault that they were starving in the first place, but whatever.
Starving didn't kill her.
Yeah, I guess.
It seems like there were so many other ways to get him to Dragonstone with a sick kid. Like, please. And she's like, all right, fine, have a dragon.
Old boy Ulf essentially does a donkey in the first Shrek film. Oh, you're a girl dragon.
Could not think of anything except that when she
Were you thinking that
when
was
she's sneaking up behind him,
thought?
like the growl, like the hook. Silverwing looks cool as hell.
They all look great.
Like
Vermithor and Silverwing are, she steps on 2 of the eggs. They have been together because their riders was Jaehaerys and his sister wife, Allison. So they've basically been together as long as they've been together. Okay. So they've only ever bred together. So at first I thought he stepped on the egg, but then I remember
he just steps on the hutch. He steps on the hutch and breaks into the incubator. Why does Silverwing go, you stepped on my egg? All right, guess you're my rider now.
Well, Ryan was saying that, look, he seemed really defensive in the behind the scenes. Look, we don't really want to get into why or how this has happened. Like, they seem really keen on, is he really a Targaryen? Is he just some guy with grey hair who managed it? Who knows why the dragons picked their riders? Which I could see George being a little bit like, well, if that's the case, why doesn't every house have a rider then? Like, because the fan theory, at least, why didn't Valyria invade Westeros? Because of all the children of the forest, they were like, oh, we don't want to have people who can mind control the dragons. Like, that's our thing.
Yeah, fearing the old magic, considering they did blood fire magic to take over dragons. Like,
exactly. I would have liked it if he donkey trekked it a bit, like he used his old street boy pies to like, hello, pretty girl, how are you? Oh, what lovely bony scales you've got. And like he tries chatting her up out of nervousness. And
he's funny, he's cockney, let him charm a dragon.
Yeah, and fuck it, just go all the way and have a blow the smoke ring, the smoke heart out of him.
Beautiful.
The complete reverse to what we've just seen.
Because he's charming, yeah, like one conquers it because Hugh's a big boy.
That's it, so Fury he's matched the Fury, so then maybe with her Silverwing.
Give us a job, Ryan.
Yeah, like that, but once again, that's minutes, that's time.
But that's not even bringing it out
time
too
we
much.
could have got if Allison wasn't in this episode.
That's like what we're suggesting isn't changing anything really. It's spending 30 seconds of Ulf being like, "G'day, darling," and then like,
and it just shows a different way of claiming a dragon.
My wife was like, "Don't just let him get the dragon. Like he hasn't just got it now, right? Because he's just playing dead," which I did find funny that he's just like,
yeah,
and then. Yeah, we just cut away and we're like, oh, I guess he got the dragon then.
And then immediately flies over.
Yes, he does a flyover. An odd choice for the flyover, considering he has no idea what he's doing.
Yeah, he flies that far. I think
and the scorpions don't go off at all.
Oh, they like try and catch him, but Silverwing's so quick.
But we like show some flying off in the distance. Show just how useless the scorpions are, unless they're going to come up later.
So we get Aemond, we get a little touch of like, oh, Lord Ormond Hightower is having such trouble because the Beesburys are fighting against him. Like the Reach isn't quite fully behind us.
And Daeron has a dragon.
Yeah, if only there was a fucking dragon.
I don't think the average viewer is going to know who the fuck Daeron is when he rocks up.
Same with Silverwing. Like, we've heard Silverwing and all these little things that as a book reader I get to enjoy is just, it's all these things I like from the book come to life. Like,
You've heard reference of.
yeah, the reason why I love the Watchmen film is it's that book I love come to life. It's not that I enjoyed the film itself.
Well, good news, you get to watch the exact same thing again, but animated.
The animation of the What If style as well.
Fucking the worst
what
animation
the
style.
Is this?
It's the cheapest, I think.
Yeah, Aemond sees, fucking dragons came here. I'm gonna go fucking show out.
Oh, I think it was panic. I think he's like, well, like not panic, but this is the time someone's doing something.
Yeah, well, Vhagar wants to go fight because she's old and ready to fight, but he goes, "No, you will obey me." But it wasn't clear. I wish there was a more clear moment where Aemond was there, and then he definitely sees, fuck me, that's Vermithor, that's Sea Smoke, that's Silverwing.
To start with, I thought, he's just getting too close.
Like, he's realising he's being silly now that he's going into...
because he thinks, at most, that dragon he just saw, plus Caraxes, plus Cyrax. So he's like, I'm going to have to go up against 3 dragons. Not, there's 3 new ones.
Well, this is another thing that they definitely haven't made clear and won't, is that Cyrax is the, maybe somewhat reflecting Arona in the book, a lazy dragon.
Hasn't seen it all.
Who doesn't hunt. Like, there's been jokes, like when she goes, Cyrax is smaller than Vhagar, but she's quicker, and then cut to Cyrax being like, bitch, what? But, yeah, I just wanted that sequence to be clearer that Aemond genuinely goes,
I have a problem.
Hey, if Aemond takes the sky, it's game over. So now Rhaenyra's got, we have that shot at the end where we're all Power Rangers, basically, all the different colours.
Yep.
She's there looking very like as if she was fucking doing all the work.
Why didn't she do the flyover? Because then Aemond could have gone, the queen, the prize, I can end this right now. And then going back to Dragonstone and being like, I could take her on Dragonstone. Like, I just need to nip in, take her, and then fuck off.
Of it.
And then he's like, that's 3 new ones that I didn't know were a thing. Bad day, bad day, bad day. And also, what's he reefing on? When he reefs on the...
It always gets me that exactly what are we pulling on here? Like, because she doesn't even have a harness. It just seems like it's ropes that she got thrown on her ages ago.
Yeah, slowly, because she's an old ship,
it's meant
basically.
to be that they're connected somewhat.
It's just a little funny visual, him reefing on nothing.
So there seems to be this, like, Pacific Rim plug-in type angle.
Na'vi.
Yeah, a little bit, maybe. I think it was almost a fillerish episode until we got that last 20 minutes. But then it is a bit spectacle-like, I suppose.
I think where we ended up is good, but I didn't love, the journey to get there. And it seems like they had to go out of their way to get everyone to King's Landing.
It's not a personal, like, what were they thinking? Like, it's just, isn't it a shame that?
I'm losing some faith in the series as a whole for this season, just because if you look back at episode 1, and we'll go more into it when we do like a whole season review, and we'll find out where we ended up. But I don't feel too far away from episode 1, considering we're 7 episodes through now.
In the macro stuff, but then also in the micro stuff too, there's been very little in both areas, right?
Yeah, not many people have gone very far. I thought Damon would be the clear standout of, he is leagues above where he started.
Yeah, and it's a shame because last season Viserys was your Shakespearean arc of like, he was your anchor arc point. So it's a shame that this season Rhaenyra's done nothing. Allison's done. I don't mean nothing as in they haven't done stuff. I mean character-wise, they have done nothing. Other than lampshade, the fact that they're doing nothing. It feels, sadly, a bit condensed. Aemond, he was such a bullied boy and he hates his brother, but it's all implied. It's all, if you're not fully paying attention, you're not fully invested. A lot of this stuff might go over your head. Yeah,
like Aemond has become the king, so Aemond's had about the most big journey, but even emotionally, he kind of always viewed himself as this, and we really haven't spent much time with him once he's become king. Like, once he's become king, we had him doing king stuff, and then he said to his brother, play dead, I'm king now.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And now this has got Aegon privately rehabilitating.
Yeah. I don't know why the Maester's listening to him, but
Yeah, it's the Grand Maester. It's like, mate, this is actually my area. I'm in charge of all of this.
This is bad for him. I'm not, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame because there's a lot about this show that I really like. And I think they've done really... I think, obviously, the technical stuff, it looks beautiful. We say the soundtrack here is great, some great tunes.
They're making dragons look decent.
So cool.
Like,
It was Jurassic Park-esque with the vermithor stuff using the darkness and everything.
Yeah, but it wasn't too dark that you can't see anything. So I was like, oh, thank God.
And you finally get that shot from like 2-3 previews ago.
Do you think we're getting the war next week? Like the Harrenhal getting attacked?
Well, I know what the book is, so I don't want to give that away. So maybe they're going off book or doing something a little bit different to the book.
But you think we're having a big episode?
In my head, I had a perfect, I know next week will end. I know what the shot would be.
And we can't get there now, or?
I think we might, and I think certain things are going to be flipped around, but I think we're going to get what I think, and then I think we're going to get a fight, but I don't think it's going to be what maybe we're expecting, this Rhaenyra with the dragon seeds going up against Vhagar. I think there's some people out there who think the next week is going to be this, it's Godzilla versus King Kong, Vhagar versus Vermithor. I think you're going to get what the book is, and it's, you'll get some action, but it's not going to be I don't want to give it away.
Considering we've spent 7 episodes getting here, this is what we've been building up to all season. Every episode has basically been a build-up to this.
Yes, I really can't say, to be honest. I think there's a lot of stuff that could happen next week. I mean, we're seeing some shit with Alan at the Stepstones, it seems.
Yeah.
We're going to see some of the Triarchy, because this is fairly off book. I think I went to the Triarchy and trying to court them, trying to set them up to come and do that. At least that's my theory.
So we'll find out if next week is the big episode that they've seemingly promised us because of the way that everything's been building to here. So we'll see next week if it all culminates. So we'll see you guys next week. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and go watch our Deadpool review. Bye.